For 30 years I washed his socks. On my 55th birthday he left me for his young secretary. Today my net worth is 10 times his. My name is Margaret Thompson. But everyone calls me Maggie. This is the story of how a woman rose from the ashes of a 30-year marriage. How I found someone stronger after completely losing myself. And yes, this is also the story of a baker. But let me start from the beginning. It was 1990. I was 22 years old, full of dreams, and I married Richard Thompson in a small church in Cleveland. Everyone called him Rick. He was 24 at the time, a young management trainee who had just started his job. I was attending a pastry course at the local community college. My mother was an amazing baker, and I wanted to learn her skills. When we returned from our honeymoon, Rick said these words to me, "Maggie, honey, if we really want a family, someone needs to build a career. My job is very promising. You can stay home and take care of our children. What do you say?" At the time I thought this was a romantic offer. A man wanting to provide for his family. I dropped my pastry courses. I put my unfinished dreams in a corner. And for 30 years I tried to be the perfect housewife. In 1997 Sarah was born. She was a beautiful, smart girl. In 1999 Tom came along. He was a sweet, sensitive boy. Rick was climbing the corporate ladder. And I was at home taking care of the children. Washing socks. Doing dishes. Cooking meals. Every evening when Rick came home at 6 o'clock, I would stand in the kitchen for hours to make sure his dinner was ready. "Maggie, this chicken is a bit dry," he would sometimes say. Or "I had a terrible day at work, at least let me find peace at home." Peace meant staying silent, never complaining, always smiling. As the children grew up, Rick started coming home later and later. "There's a meeting, honey," he would say, or "dinner with clients." After 2015 he stopped explaining altogether. He would just text, "I'll be late." Sometimes he wouldn't even text. Linda was my closest friend for 30 years. "Maggie," she would say to me, "does Rick even notice you? You wait for him every day, and he doesn't even spend time with you." I would always defend him. "Linda, he's working. He's tired so we can live comfortably. This is normal," but I had forgotten what normal was. In a normal marriage, when you looked into your husband's eyes, you should see love there. In a normal marriage you would celebrate your birthday together. In a normal marriage a woman wouldn't feel like just a servant. If you're curious about how people are reborn at life's turning points, subscribe to the channel. Because these kinds of powerful women's stories are shared here every week. And believe me, Maggie's story has only just begun. After 2020, Rick completely distanced himself. We weren't even sleeping in the same bed anymore. "My back hurts. I'll sleep in the guest room," he had said. The guest room became his room. I slept alone in my bed, staring at the ceiling, wondering where did I go wrong. Sarah had graduated from college and was working in marketing in Chicago. Tom was a software developer at a tech company in Detroit. They were both living their own lives, and I was in my Cleveland home, with empty rooms, loneliness, and Rick's increasingly absent presence. And then came March 5th, 2024, my 55th birthday. That morning I woke up excited. Maybe Rick would remember this time. Maybe he would buy flowers. Maybe he would take me out to a nice restaurant. Maybe he would look into my eyes, like he used to. When I came downstairs, Rick was sitting at the kitchen table. He was drinking his coffee, reading his newspaper. He didn't even look up. "Good morning," I said in a soft voice. "Good morning," he said, without lifting his head from the newspaper. "Today is a special day," I said. Not giving up hope. That's when he looked at me. But there was no love in his gaze. There was annoyance. It was a look that said, I was a burden to him. "Maggie, sit down. We need to talk." My heart stopped. When I heard that sentence, something inside me had already broken. My instincts had sensed the danger. I sat down at the table. My hands were shaking. "Maggie," Rick said in a cold, businesslike voice, "this marriage isn't working for me anymore. I've been unhappy for a long time. I think you're unhappy too. We should get divorced." The words hung in the air. We should get divorced. 30 years, 10,950 days, 262,800 hours. All of it disappearing with those two words. What are you saying?" I stammered. "Rick, if there's a problem, We can talk. We can go to marriage therapy. Maggie, this is my decision. I've talked to my lawyer. The papers are ready. You need to sign. But why? What did I do wrong? For 30 years I've served you. I've met your every need. I've kept your house clean. I've cooked your meals. I've raised your children. What did I do? Rick took a deep breath, and then he dropped the bomb. I found someone, Maggie. Someone young, dynamic, ambitious. Her name is Ashley. She's my assistant at the office. She's 25 years old, and I'm happy with her. Happier than I've ever been with you. The world spun around me. 25 years old. My daughter was 28. Rick was happier with a girl 3 years younger than his own daughter than he was with a woman his own age. So you cheated on me, I said, my voice cold and foreign even to my own ears. Maggie, please don't make this dramatic. You and I have just been strangers living in the same house for years. You don't make me happy anymore. But Ashley, shut up. The voice came out of my throat. I had never yelled at Rick in 30 years. But now the anger inside me had exploded. 30 years. For 30 years, I took care of you. I sacrificed my own dreams so you could build your career. I raised our children. I cleaned up all your messes. And now you're telling me you don't make me happy anymore. Rick stood up. That's exactly what I'm talking about, Maggie. You always talk about what you sacrificed, as if I begged you to do these things. You made your own choice. I didn't force you. Those words had pierced my heart. Was he right? Had I made my own choice? Or had I been crushed under the pressure of society, family, and being a good wife? Have you ever thought about it? How many women lose themselves this way? How many women bury their own dreams to be good wives? What would you have done in that moment? Share in the comments, because maybe your story can give strength to someone else. Leave, I said quietly. Get out of my house. This is my house too, Maggie. No, this is my house. For 30 years I've run this house. You just came here to sleep. Now leave. Rick shrugged. Our lawyers will be in touch soon. And he walked out the door. I sat alone at the table. The silence was deafening. It was 8:47 a.m. 47 minutes ago there was still a marriage. Now there were only ruins. I didn't cry. I couldn't cry. I was empty inside. The phone rang. It was Sarah. Mom. Happy birthday, she said in her cheerful voice. Thank you, sweetheart, I said, trying to make my voice sound normal. Mom, are you okay? Your voice sounds strange. I'm fine, honey. Just a little tired. Okay, Mom. I'll call you tonight. I love you. I love you too. I hung up the phone. My eyes wandered around the house. Every corner was a memory. Right there, Sarah had taken her first steps. On that couch, I had put Tom to sleep when he was sick. At that table, we had eaten family dinners for years. But I wasn't in any of those memories. It was always other people. Always their happiness, their needs, their dreams. But where were my dreams? I went up to the attic. Among the old boxes was one my mother had left. My mother had died of cancer in 2019. In her last days she had given me a box. These are my recipes, Maggie. One day they'll be useful to you, she had said. I opened the box. Inside were old yellowed notebooks, in my mother's handwriting. Mary's special cookies, Grandma's apple pie, classic chocolate brownies. Under one recipe she had written, in 1985, during the most difficult times in my marriage, I used to make these cookies. Each cookie was a prayer, and over time life got better. The kitchen is a woman's greatest therapy. I sat there in the dusty attic, reading my mother's recipe books, and for the first time I cried, sobbing, with pain, with anger. All 30 years of suppressed emotions were pouring out. Night had fallen. I went downstairs. I went to the kitchen. I opened one of my mother's recipes, Mary's comfort cookies. I took out the ingredients, and I started making cookies like I was possessed. Flour, sugar, butter, eggs, vanilla, chocolate chips. As my hands kneaded the dough, my tears were falling into it. But I didn't stop. I kneaded. I was channeling all my anger into the dough. I put them in the oven. The kitchen filled with a sweet, warm aroma. That smell reminded me of my childhood. The days when we laughed in my mother's kitchen, stealing cookies with my siblings. When they came out of the oven, The cookies were perfect. Golden, crispy edges, soft centers. I bit into one, and something happened in that moment. That cookie wasn't just a cookie. It was my identity. It was my talent. It was my worth. Rick had left, but I was still here. And maybe, just maybe, this wasn't the end. Maybe this was a beginning. The next day, Linda came over. I told her everything. That bastard, Linda said. That disgraceful, shameless, filthy bastard. 25 years old? Are you kidding me right now? He's living the midlife crisis cliché. Linda, what am I going to do? I said desperately. I haven't worked in 30 years. I have no money. I don't even have a degree. How am I going to hire a divorce lawyer? Linda held my hands. Maggie, listen to me. You are so much stronger than you think. I've watched you my whole life. You're an organizing queen. You're a problem solver. You're a survival expert. For 30 years you've managed a family, a home, everything. Now you're just going to manage yourself. But how? Linda smiled. Have you tasted these cookies? She picked up one of the cookies I had made the night before. Maggie, this is incredible. Nobody in this city makes cookies like this. You can sell these. Linda, who's going to buy cookies from a 55-year-old housewife? Everyone. Because these aren't just cookies. They're love, care, years of experience. They're not factory-made. They're handmade. They're you, Maggie. That evening I called Sarah and Tom. I told them the truth about their father. Sarah was shocked. Mom, Dad is with a 25-year-old girl? That's disgusting. That's someone my age. Tom was angry. Mom, I'm coming to Cleveland. I need to talk to that man. No, Tom, I said in a calm voice. He's not my problem anymore. Now I need to learn to stand on my own 2 feet. Mom, you've always stood on your own 2 feet, Sarah said. People just didn't notice. My children's support gave me strength, but the real strength came from something else. A week later, Rick sent the divorce papers through his lawyer. When I read them, my blood ran cold. He had withdrawn the money from our joint accounts. He had only left $3,000. The other $47,000 was gone. He wanted to sell the house and was offering to split it. But after lawyer fees, very little would be left for me. Was the material value of 30 years of marriage $3,000 and half a sold house? That night, I didn't sleep at all. I was filled with anger, fear, hopelessness. But then I heard my mother's voice. The kitchen is a woman's greatest therapy. At 4 a.m, I went down to the kitchen, and I started making cookies. Not 1, not 5, but 10 different kinds of cookies. I tried all the recipes. The kitchen filled with flour dust and sugar smells. When morning came, the kitchen counter was covered with hundreds of cookies. When Linda knocked on the door, she thought I had lost my mind. Maggie, what the hell? Linda, I said, looking into her eyes. You were right, I can do this. I'm going to sell these cookies. I'm going to start my own business, and I'm going to show Rick that I'm not just a housewife. Linda smiled. Then let's get to work. Linda and I made a plan. A simple but clear plan. First, I would sell at small farmers markets. Then maybe we'd open an Instagram account. But first and foremost, I needed to establish a legal business. Maggie, Linda said, I know a small business consultant. His name is James. He helps new businesses in Ohio. Let's call him. James Martinez was in his 40s, friendly and practical. When he came to my house a week later, he had a full folder with him. Mrs. Thompson, he said, Linda told me about your situation. Let me say this first. Starting a new business at 55 takes courage. But if you look at the statistics, most successful entrepreneurs are over 45. Because experience, patience, and life wisdom are more valuable than capital. We spent the first week on paperwork. We established an LLC called Maggie's Comfort Cookies. We got a business license. I took the food safety certification exam and passed. We set up my kitchen to commercial standards. James, how much is all this going to cost? I asked anxiously. I only had that $3,000. About $800 for now, he said. But we can apply for a business loan. Or, no, I said firmly. No loans. I don't want to start with debt. I'll start with this $3,000. I'll grow slowly but solidly. James smiled. That's the true entrepreneurial spirit. My first sale was on May 15, 2024. At the West Side Farmers Market in Cleveland. I woke up at 4 that morning. I had made 200 cookies. All kinds, chocolate chip, oatmeal, peanut butter, lemon. I had carefully packaged each one. With Linda's help, we set up a stand. The banner read, Maggie's Comfort Cookies, made with love and 30 years of experience. My first customer was a young mother with her baby. She smelled the cookies. Are these homemade? She asked. Yes, I said, from my mother's 40-year-old recipes. Each one is handmade. Let me try a package. My hands were shaking as I sold that package. My first money. The first money I earned with my own effort, with my own hands. $6. Throughout the day I sold 67 packages. I made a total of $402. Yes, my ingredients had cost $150. Yes, the stand rental was $40. But I had $212 profit in my pocket. My money. Money I earned without anyone's permission, without having to answer to anyone. When I got home, my feet hurt. My back hurt. But I was smiling. I hadn't been this happy in 30 years. Do you remember when you earned your own money for the first time? That feeling is indescribable, isn't it? Whether at 18 or at 55, that feeling of freedom. How did your first earnings make you feel? Write it down below. Mom, Sarah called that night. How did it go? Sarah, I said, excitement trembling in my voice. Sweetheart, I became a businesswoman today. I sold 67 packages. Sarah screamed. Mom, I'm so proud of you. Can I order from Chicago? I'm not that professional yet, honey, I said, laughing. But Sarah had given me an idea. Mom, do you have an Instagram account? You can't have a business without social media anymore. Let me help you. That night, Sarah taught me how to open an Instagram account over video chat, at Maggie's Comfort Cookies. I uploaded my first photo, my stand at the farmer's market, my smiling face and a plate of cookies. Caption: I'm 55 years old. My 30-year marriage is over. Today a new life begins. Never too late. Women, entrepreneurs. Cookies with love. Mom, Sarah said. Share your story. People don't buy products. They buy stories. Your story is powerful. In the first week I had 47 followers. Most were friends of Linda and my children. But then something happened. A customer had made a video with the cookies she bought from the farmer's market and tagged me. This 55-year-old woman just started her business after 30 years of marriage. Her cookies are amazing, and her story is inspiring. Support local. That video was watched by 15,000 people. Overnight my follower count jumped to 890, and messages started coming in. Where can I order? Do you ship? You are my hero. Starting over at 55. Respect. I immediately called James. James, people want to order online. But how am I going to ship? How do I take payments? Calm down, Maggie, James said, laughing. Step by step. First let's make a website. Then set up a payment system. Then shipping agreements. Within a month I had a simple but functional website. We were using Square for payments. We made an agreement with UPS for shipping. My first online order came from Detroit. Tom's friend. 10 packages of cookies. $60. The second was from New York. Someone I didn't know. They found me on Instagram. 5 packages. $30. The third was from California. 20 packages. For an office party at a company. $120. At the end of June, in my business's first month, I had $3,470 in revenue. My profit margin was around 40%. So $1,388 went into my pocket. It wasn't minimum wage, but it was a start. In July, at Sarah's suggestion, we opened a TikTok account. My first video was simple. Me in the kitchen making cookies. For 30 years I washed his socks. Now I'm baking my own dreams. That video was watched by 340,000 people. Orders started pouring in. 50 packages a day, then 100 packages, then 150 packages. I couldn't keep up anymore by myself. When Linda retired from work, she started helping me part-time. Then my neighbor Patricia joined too. In August, my home kitchen started becoming insufficient. James suggested a solution. Maggie, a bakery in Cleveland that closed, is selling their equipment. You can rent a small commercial kitchen and buy that equipment. James, am I ready for such a big investment? Maggie, you've already grown. Now we're just bringing your business to your size. I didn't want to take out a loan. Instead, I talked to my children. Sarah and Tom wanted to give me $10,000 they had saved as an investment. Mom, Tom said, we believe in you. This money is an investment for us. We could even be your partners. My eyes filled with tears. You are my greatest wealth. In September, I rented a small commercial kitchen on West 25th Street in Ohio City, 800 square feet, old but clean, and completely mine. On opening day, Linda, Sarah, Tom, Patricia, James, and a few regular customers came. We cut a small ribbon. We made a toast. This is it, I said emotionally. This is my kingdom. At that moment, the door opened, and Rick walked in. Everyone fell silent. I hadn't seen Rick in months. The divorce was proceeding through lawyers, but now he was here, and Ashley was with him. Maggie, Rick said, sensing the tension in the room. Congratulations. I heard about your business. I looked at him. This man had been the center of my life for 30 years. Now he was no different from a stranger. Thank you, Rick, I said in a cold but polite voice. What brings you here? I just wanted to see. You really did it. I honestly couldn't believe it. Ashley took his arm. Rick, should we go? I think we're causing discomfort. Yes, I said. You are causing discomfort. Today is my day, and you're not welcome here. Rick left, but before he went, he turned around. Maggie, I made a mistake. Maybe we... No, Rick, I said firmly. There is no we anymore. You didn't love me for who I was. Now I've learned to love myself. And that's enough. When the door closed, everyone applauded. Linda hugged me. That's my Maggie. In October, my business had grown so much that I hired 3 more part-time employees. Tanisha, Maria, and Keisha. All women over 50. All who had fought life's hardships. All who needed a second chance. Ladies, I said on the first day, this place isn't just a workplace. This is a home for strong women. This is a place of rebirth. In November, Cleveland Magazine published an article about me, From Housewife to Business Owner, Maggie Thompson's inspiring journey. In December, I was invited to Good Morning Cleveland for an interview. I told my story on live TV. The host couldn't hold back her tears. Maggie, what would you like to say to women? I want to say this, I said, looking into the camera. It's never too late. At 55, at 65, even at 75, you can start over. The value of your life isn't in what others give you. It's in what you give yourself. I lost myself for 30 years. Now I've found myself. And when I found myself, I learned that I was always strong. People just hadn't noticed. It doesn't matter anymore, because I noticed. That program was watched live by 780,000 people. The next week, 45,000 visitors came to my website. Orders multiplied. In January 2025, I opened the first physical store of Maggie's Comfort Cookies. In Ohio City, on West 25th. Only 600 square feet, but with a storefront, charming and cozy. Every day the smell of fresh cookies wafted into the street. On opening day, a line formed. People weren't just coming to buy cookies, they were coming to hear my story, to meet me. A woman came, in her 60s. Mrs. Thompson, she said. I saw you on TV. I also got divorced after a 35-year marriage. I'm 62 and I don't know what to do. You gave me hope. I held her hands. Hope is always there. You just have to take a step. The first step is the hardest, but the rest follows. In February, I got an offer from Starbucks. They wanted to sell my cookies in their regional stores. I reviewed the contract with James. Maggie, this is a very good offer, but you have to be careful. Working with big companies can make quality control difficult. James, I've never compromised on quality. And I won't. I accepted the deal, but on my terms. Handmade ingredients won't change. I'll control production. In March, exactly 1 year later, it was my 56th birthday. This time I was surrounded by people. My employees, my friends, my children. Linda brought a cake, to the woman reborn at 55. Sarah and Tom gave me a gift. When I opened it, I couldn't stop crying. A plaque, World's Best Mom and CEO, We're proud of you. That night, when I returned home alone, yes, I was still living in that house. The divorce case hadn't been finalized yet. I looked in the mirror. The woman I had seen a year ago had disappeared. Now there was life in my eyes. I had energy. I had purpose. In April, franchise offers started coming in. An investor from Columbus, another from Cincinnati, one more from Pittsburgh. Everyone wanted to create a Maggie's Comfort Cookies chain. Maggie, James said, these offers are very serious. If you accept, you could open 50 locations in 5 years. You could become a millionaire. I thought about it. Did I really want this? Had I started this for money, or to find myself? I accepted the first 2 franchise agreements. Columbus and Pittsburgh. We made detailed contracts, quality standards, training programs, supply chain control. Everything would be to my standards. In May 2025, the Columbus location opened. In June, Pittsburgh. Both had record sales in the first week. In July, the divorce case was finalized. The judge announced his decision. The house is mine. Rick will pay back half of the money he withdrew from joint accounts, and I would receive monthly alimony. Ironic, right? I didn't need it anymore, but it was legally my right. Mrs. Thompson, the judge said, a 30-year marriage is equivalent to an entire lifetime. You sacrificed your own career to support your spouses. This court recognizes your contributions. When I left the courthouse, I saw Rick. Ashley wasn't with him. I heard they had broken up 3 months ago. Rick looked old, tired, and regretful. Maggie, he said, can we talk? We have nothing left to talk about, Rick. I made a huge mistake. By losing you, I lost everything. I looked at him. I once would have died for this man's approval. Now I only felt pity. Rick, you didn't lose me. You never had me. Because you never knew the real me. All those years you saw a servant, a cook, a washing machine. But you didn't see a wife, a partner, a person. Now I've met my real self. And you know what? I'm amazing. In September, I opened my 3rd location in Shaker Heights, Cleveland's affluent neighborhood. I had a VIP opening. Cleveland's prominent businesswomen and entrepreneurs came, and most importantly, dozens of women over 50 who looked like my mother came. They all had the same story. They had lost themselves and wanted to find themselves again. Mrs. Thompson, one of them said, "You're our role model. I'm 67 years old, and I've served others my whole life. Now I want to do something for myself." "Then start," I said. "Start today. Don't wait for tomorrow." October 2025, 18 months ago on my 55th birthday, my life had collapsed. Now I'm 56 years old. I have 3 locations. I have 18 employees. My annual revenue has reached $890,000. My net worth, including all investments and assets, is around $420,000. Rick's net worth, last I heard, around $40,000. The expenses he made to be with Ashley, divorce costs, and bad investment decisions destroyed him. Am I 10 times richer? Yes. But that's not the real wealth. The real wealth is looking in the mirror every morning and being proud of myself. The real wealth is being a role model for my employees. The real wealth is my children being proud to be my children. The real wealth is standing on my own 2 feet, independent of anyone. Last week, Linda and I sat down. We talked about old times over coffee. "Maggie," Linda said, "you've been on an incredible journey. I'm proud of you." "Linda, you saved me. You believed in me." "No, Maggie, I just helped you see the strength you already had. That strength was always in you. You just forgot how to use it." Tonight, right now, in my own house, now completely my house, I'm writing this story. Maybe one day I'll write a book, something like After 30 Years, A Woman's Rebirth. But for now, this story is for you. For every woman reading this, especially for women who feel they've lost themselves, who think it's too late, who've forgotten their own power. I want to tell you this, it's never too late. At 55, at 65, even at 75, you can start a new life. The value of your life isn't in what others assign to you. The value of your life is in what you assign to yourself. For 30 years, I washed his socks. Today, I'm the CEO of my own company. For 30 years, I cooked his meals. Today, I pay 18 people's salaries. For 30 years, I cleaned his house. Today, I have 3 stores. And most importantly, for 30 years, I lost myself. Today, I found myself. My name is Maggie Thompson. I'm 56 years old, and my life is just beginning. If this story touched you, if you're also saying it's too late, stop. There's no such thing as too late. All it takes is courage. The courage to take that first step. I took it at 55. No matter how old you are, you can take it too. Remember, the best cookies come from the most experienced hands, and life's sweetest moments come after the hardest times. I'm leaving now. I have to wake up early tomorrow morning. I need to prepare fresh cookies for 3 stores. I have a meeting with my employees. A new franchise offer came from Columbus, and I have dinner with my children tonight. A busy life, but it's my life, and that's the most beautiful feeling in the world. When will you start writing your own story? If this story touched you, please hit the like button and write in the comments with one word how you feel. Hope, strength, inspiration, freedom, whatever you felt. And if you think someone you know needs to hear this, share the video with them, because sometimes a story can change a life, like Maggie's, maybe like yours. See you in the next powerful woman story. Take care of yourselves.